It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Western University's Canada head ringlets coach, Coach Ellen McClure. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start coaching in ringlet?
I played when I was a child and I loved the sport. And that's a long time ago. When I got to 18 years old, there was no other options for me. So I hadn't even really thought about ringette for a while until I had a couple daughters. And then a neighbor said, you should put your kids in ringette. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's still around. I haven't heard about it. And it's not as out there as hockey, right? So not everybody has heard of ringette. So I put them back in, and right away, within 1 year of having a daughter playing, I started coaching, and I absolutely love it. I've been doing it for 24 years, I think now.
What was that experience like getting to compete in ringlet?
What's which?
What was that experience like for you to get to compete in it?
It was really good because when I played, again, it was a really long time ago. All the boys got to play hockey. And at that time, there was no girls got to play hockey with the boys. It was just too bad, go play with the bubblegum machines in the lobby of the arena while your brother's on the ice. So it was really, really cool when they come up with ringette, and we learned what it was in London, and we had some teams going, and it was fantastic. I thought I was a superstar right from day one.
How was that like, obviously competing as a professional in it?
Well, I never competed as a professional. When I played, there wasn't anything professional. Now we have what's the NRL, National Ringette League, and we do have some really, really good players that are playing in that.
What was that experience like getting into college coaching and coaching ringlet?
When it first came to me to coach the team, I was a little nervous because I thought, oh my goodness, it's the university level. How am I going to be able to do this? It's not going to be the same as little kids and too much pressure and stuff. But over the 5 years that I've been there, I'm slowly starting to get a handle on it. You know, like the coaching part, I've got that down. I know how to coach. I have been doing it for a long time, but it's a different level because you've got, different rules to follow and that sort of thing, right? And older people, you're dealing with a bunch of adults, really.
Of course, what is that experience like getting to coach those athletes in ringlet?
This is by far probably one of the best experiences of my life. The girls, they all want to be accountable. They want to be a part of the planning and the executing and making the team stronger, and basically every aspect they want to be a part of it because they see a future too, right? Some of them will go on to coach teams, and whether it's at the university level or just when their kids are little or something, I think they'll all follow and do that as well.
What was that feeling like for you to get the opportunity to come to Western University to become the head coach?
It felt pretty awesome. I really liked it. Like we've always looked up to when my kids were little, we always looked up to the university players and thought, oh, what a cool thing to do. And it's not really that long ago that there wasn't a possibility, right? So to see it growing the way it is now, we have 13 university teams in Ontario, I believe it is. So that's pretty fantastic. Or maybe it's across Canada that we have 13. I'll have to get that stat for you and I'll email it to you.
Of course, who are some of the teams that you face in your conference?
Well, the university, we're not an OUA sport or a U sport, so we don't get our schedule made for us. If we were, we would play everyone, all the other schools that have teams. But logistically, I mean, we're not going to drive to Ottawa for one game, right? It's a 6 to 8 hour drive, depending on where you're going from. So all the university coaches work together to play each other. So we play Brock University, we play University of Guelph, we play University of Waterloo, Nipissing, Trent, Laurier, McMaster, Ottawa, Carleton. Laurentian. There's a ton of universities that we make our schedules ourselves and we get together when we can and we play each other. And then we have a big tournament at Christmas that has every team.
Of course, what is that experience like going to Brock University to play them?
We don't actually go to Brock. I'm not sure if Brock even has their own rink. A lot of the universities here don't. So we're fortunate in that we have our own arena at Western, so we can have teams come right to our campus, and we do go to U Guelph. They have a lovely facility on their campus as well. But a lot of them we have to rent ice or book ice somewhere close to our schools.
Of course, how has that been like? Obviously, as you said, having a home rink to play on.
It's really a different atmosphere, you know, even if there's not a big crowd out there, it's like you walk in for a game and this is our house. You know, we can go into any arena and it's our game, but this is our house. You know, we feel like this is home for us and this is where we want to do our very best and show everybody what we've got.
Of course, for my listeners that don't know about the sport of ringlet, can you explain what it is?
Absolutely. Some people think that it's like hockey, and I think they think that just because of the equipment that we wear and that we're on the ice. Some people think basketball because we use a shot clock. But it really is its own sport. We do have a goalie and 5 players on the ice at a time like hockey, but you have to pass the ring over every blue line. So you can't just go from one end to the other and do it all on your own. It's more team oriented that way. And once you reach possession, that's when the shot clock starts, and you have 30 seconds to either get down and get a goal, or you end up losing possession and the other team gets it.
Of course, what is that like getting to see those athletes use that ring to go down the ice?
It's incredible. You know, I watch them now and I think, oh wow, how do you even do that? You know, and I have played the sport and I understand what it's like to play it, but it's a totally different game now. You know, they're so far advanced, and those rings are they're flying along the ice, and those girls pick them up like that.
Of course, what is that like getting to see them compete at such a high level in the Division One?
That's being at this level is really cool as well, because it's a lot of girls that have played at the highest level they could in minor sports, and they used to play against each other, and now because they've chosen the same university, now they're teammates. You know, so you really don't want to be too sassy to somebody on the other team when you're young, but it's great to see people who were rivals now are their sisters. You know, they built that relationship that they're going to keep forever.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've built for the ringlet program?
For our own team, it really is an all for one type of culture. You know, like if something needs to be done and say, I don't have time to do it, I've got one of my captains that will step up and say, oh, I'll take care of that, or an assistant coach that will take care of that, or everybody, you know, like we are one group, and we want everyone, the entire team, to be successful and the entire sport to continue to grow.
What does a typical game day look like for the sport of ringlet?
It's much easier if it's a home game. Then everybody just meets at the arena about an hour before the game, and they do their warm up and whatnot, and then we play the game. But because we're a university team, we travel as a group. So if we have an out of town game, which we do this weekend, our games at 11 a.m., we'll be picking girls up at 9 a.m., 8:30 a.m., right? So that we can have all the cars filled and we all drive together. We get to our destination, they still warm up, they play their game, and then we do the same thing on the way back. So it's a long day sometimes, but it's so worth it.
Of course, what does a typical game day last for?
How long?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a home game, I would say you're back home in about 3 hours, because you've got your warm up and then your game and then your cool down. And we play either 4 11-minute periods or 2 20s at our level. So that's about an hour and a half of actual ice time. But if we're out of town, it can be anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8 to however many hours.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play ringlet?
The equipment, is that what you were asking about?
The recruitment process look like?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can recruit, but we really don't a whole lot. Again, because we're not an OUA sport, there's not a whole lot that we can offer our athletes. Like we can't buy them a car to come play for us or anything silly like that. So we basically we work our tails off with social media, trying to get all the young girls coming up in our sport to know who we are and to want to come to Western and keep our team the strongest that it can be. But we do go to tournaments and watch players sometimes. If we know that they're thinking about coming to Western, we go get a sneak peek and see what we think and chat with them online and stuff. So
Of course, when you go to those tournaments, what do you look at in those prospective student athletes?
there's a variety of things that you look at. Obviously, you want them to be, a strong skater and have a good skill set and that, but you also want to make sure that they're a team player. I do anyway. There may be some coaches who just want girls that get goals. I want goals, but I don't want them to just go get them by themselves. I want them to work together as a team. I want the entire team to feel that accomplishment.
Of course, when you bring those prospective student athletes on the official visit, what is that like getting to see them fall in love with the campus and the rink?
Generally, I don't do it because our campus is massive. And I know about where the sports are, but not really anything else. So generally, when we have someone coming in who's thinking about coming to Western and playing ringette, I'll have one of the players on the team. I'll find out what program they're going into or hoping to go into, and then see if I've got a player that can relate to that. Have that player meet them, and then they'll take them for a tour, and they'll take them through the rink, and they'll talk to them about our sport and our team and all that sort of thing.
What is that feeling like, seeing them fall in love with the rink that you play on your home?
It's pretty cool, actually. We won provincials last year. Our team went undefeated to win provincials, actually, so it was quite an accomplishment. So we of course got a banner for doing so. And this morning when we got to the arena at 6 a.m. for our practice, our banner was hanging up in the arena. And even now, I've been there for 5 years. I have players that have been on the team since before I got there. And it was still pretty exciting for everybody to see something of ours up there. And that truly is our home too.
Of course, what are some of your accomplishments as head coach?
What are which, sorry?
What are some of your accomplishments as head coach?
Well, we went undefeated last year and won provincials. We've had some struggles in the last few years because of COVID. We haven't been able to have our University Challenge Cup, which is our big tournament over Christmas. But we're hoping that we can carry our momentum from last year into this year, and we can hopefully do really well at UCCs and at provincials.
Of course, as head coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen that come onto campus blossom into seniors and grow the program?
It's really neat because we also have we take affiliate players or alternate players or however you want to call them. We just call them AP. So they're not someone who's got a full-time roster spot, but they're part of the team. So they come to every practice, they go to every game, they shot clock for us, or they time keep or something like that, so that they're really involved. But when they're at the practice, they're learning from the best. So you can see from September when we first hit the ice, and even by Christmas, some of those APs have really, really grown as players, and their skill set is getting much deeper.
What are some of your future plans for the program moving forward?
We're hoping to keep it as successful as we can. Everybody wants to, it's fun to play, but it's also fun to win. So we want to keep doing what we're doing and keeping the team growing as a tight-knit unit and developing different strategies and plays and whatnot to keep the other teams on their toes so they can't catch us.
What advice would you give those high school athletes that are competing in ringlet that look to go on to the college level to compete?
You know what? I think if they're playing still in high school, they already know what they should be doing, because they're on a high level team as it is. So as long as they, keep their grades up so they can get into a good school, they know what they do with their nutrition and with their cardio and practicing and all those things. And I don't really have to give them a whole lot of advice because they're already set and they know what they're going toward. When they're about 12 years old, they already see the end result.
What advice would you give those college athletes that are competing in it that are looking to go to the professional level?
That's a tough one, because in Canada, if you play in the NRL, you cannot play on a university team, but the ages for both coincide. So it's an either or. It's one or the other. And I actually have a girl who has just come back. She played for me four or 5 years ago. And then she went to the NRL, and she's a fantastic player. She represented Canada at the Winter Games, all these things. She's so accomplished. But she's coming back now because she wants to focus on her school and such, right? So she's come back to our team, and it's fantastic to have her there. So I don't really advise anybody to go anywhere, because if they go there, then I lose them, right? But
Of course, what advice would you give those head coaches that are looking to start their own program of Ringlet?
there really isn't much of an opportunity to start your own program, because we have governing bodies, like we have Ringette Ontario and Ringette Canada, and you have to follow their rules and whatnot, right? So, but for new schools, U Waterloo just a few years ago started to establish their team again. They had one before, and it kind of fell to the wayside for a while. And the university division is really good in that they give them some allowances when they're starting to make their teams and stuff, because we want more teams, we want more competition, we want more girls playing.
What advice would you give those future head coaches looking to start?
To start coaching?
Mhm.
Absolutely get into it. It's so rewarding. There's tough losses, there's emotional days where things happen beyond your control that it seems like it's crushing at the time. But oh my goodness, there's so many better moments. You know, seeing a little kid get their first goal, that's something you're never going to replace. Everyone's reaction is going to be different, and it's just amazing every time. Seeing a girl graduate and get her varsity ring, you know, knowing that part of her life, university sport, may be over, but she's got something, you know, to always remember it by, and to bring up stories and whatnot from it.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the program app?
You can, Western University, we have all sorts of social media that you can just put in anything. And for us, I think we're Western U Ringette, I believe, is our Instagram. And I think that's what our Facebook is as well.
Thank you again, Coach Ellen McClure, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the head coach for the Ringlet.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Ellen, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.